Riddle me this. How do you remove discretion without officially removing discretion? According to leaked documents obtained by Gun Owners of America and supplied to me, it appears that is exactly what the ATF is doing. We'll be right back with those documents and we're going to discuss what they say. Hello, people of the interwebs. My name is John Crump. I'm an investigative journalist currently working with MLN.com. I investigate things having to do with the Second Amendment and the agencies and organizations that want to remove your right to bear arms. I also keep an eye on the industry and make sure they're honest because they are not always the good guys. Today's story involves the ATF. But before we get into today's story, we're going to have to talk about NICS. NICS, or the National Instant Check System, is an FBI-ran program where a FFL, a federally licensed firearms dealer, enters your information into a system and it runs a background check on you to make sure you're not a prohibited person. Maybe that you are a carjacker or some other criminal, it will deny you. What happens is it goes to the FBI. The FBI has 3 days to give an answer. Usually it's sooner, but it can take up to 3 days. After 3 days, if there's no answer, the FFL is legally allowed to transfer that firearm to you in most states. In certain states, the period is longer, but federally it's 3 days. That is like the Brady check. If you ever hear of the Brady check waiting period, that's what that is. Now, let's say a dealer transfers a firearm to a buyer, and after 3 days, they come back as denied. That's called a delayed denied. What happens is the FBI takes that information and they hand it over to the ATF to do an investigation. Now, this is where it gets interesting. The agents have discretion whether they want to go get those firearms. Why would they use that discretion? Let's say that someone had a drug conviction at 18 and now they're 70, right? So the agents look at that, says they had a drug conviction at 18. They're 70 now. It's been decades since they've been arrested. They haven't done anything else. It's going to be a waste of my time and the taxpayers' money for me to drive across the state to retrieve a firearm that would never be used in a crime. There's no public safety need to take that firearm. In fact, all you're doing is infringing on someone's rights. So they can say, we're not going to follow up on this. And they put the case in a drawer, close it, and it's now closed. That's the way it was until Thomas Chatnam, who is Assistant Deputy Director of the Field Operations Division, sent out a one-page memorandum to all the AICs, special agents in charge, saying from now on, you cannot close those cases. What that means is every agent has to update those cases. According to the memo, within the first 10 days of each month, each case where the firearm has not been retrieved, the agent is going to have to explain why. The next month, same case, same thing. They have to explain why they haven't retrieved those items yet. So the discretion is basically gone because it's going to back up their caseload. Their caseload's going to keep on piling up. The more cases that come in, the more times they're going to have to do that. And the only way they can close out the case is to retrieve that firearm. So their discretion is basically gone because it's going to get so overwhelming that they're not going to be able to keep up with their job. So for their job security, they're going to have to close out that case. And the only way is to go get the firearm. They can't just ignore it either because they have a built-in computer system, and we were shown that computer system, and it won't let you go any further. So after 10 days, you're stuck. You can't log in or anything else without updating those cases. So there's a drop down menu. You have to go and select and fill it out. It is one of those things where they didn't want to change the law to look like they're anti gun, but they are definitely anti gun. So they went ahead and found a way around it. So agents are going to go out and confiscate firearms from people that are no danger to you, to me, or anyone else. It is ridiculous. It's removing their discretion. Even the most adamant anti-gun agents out there, and trust me, I know, I talked to them or had other people talk to them, they are against this move because it's wasting their time, it's wasting taxpayers' money, where they can be investigating real crime, stopping real criminals, but now they can't because they are going to be burdened with so much busy work. It's going to prevent them from actually doing real work. And the longer that they delay taking someone's rights away, even though they are not a danger to anyone, themselves or anyone else, there's no public safety danger, they want them to go get the firearms. They want them to become gun confiscators and not special agents, not law enforcement. They just want them to go take away the guns because they hate guns. We're going to see a lot more moves like this from the Biden administration, especially with Merrick Garland, a very anti-gun AG in office now. We are going to be in for it, man. Merrick Garland, if you don't know, is the AG who Obama nominated for the Supreme Court, but he didn't get on the Supreme Court. He is a rabid anti-gun guy. He is so anti-gun that he's against the Heller decision. He does not believe, and he's on record of saying this, he does not believe the Second Amendment is an individual right to bear arms. He argues that Heller is wrong. He argues that only state-sanctioned militias should be armed. So he is the guy that's going to be in charge of the ATF because the ATF reports up to the Justice Department. And as Attorney General, he is the head of the Justice Department. So we're going to be seeing a lot more moves like this. And we already know that Regina Lombardo and Marvin Richardson and a lot of the people who are ahead of the ATF, including this douche nozzle that wrote this document, he's anti-gun as well. So we're going to have to put a lot of political pressure on our senators and representatives to keep the ATF in check and to keep the Justice Department in check, because it's going to be an all-out blitz. They're going to go after solvent traps. They're going to go after 80%. They're going to go after pistol braces. They're coming after everything. Everything. Look at the auto key card. Auto key card was raided and the owner was arrested for manufacturing machine guns, even though it was just a picture of a lightning link, but whatever. So just keep an eye out. I'm sure there's going to be more stories like this breaking. I'm going to link the documents down below so you can go read the documents yourself. By the time this comes out, the video comes out, my article should be almost up. It's going to drop today at 5 p.m. on ammoland.com. So you can go to ammoland.com and read that stuff. But yeah, this is bad. We're going to have to fight back, especially with H.R. 8 passing and the other anti-gun bill, the enhanced background check bill. It's going to get ridiculous. All right, so fight H.R. 8, contact your senators, tell them to vote against H.R. 8, and tell them to vote against H.R. 1446, because they are coming after our guns. When they say they're not coming after our guns, then say, but we are coming after your guns. Trust me, they're coming after your guns. That said, my name is John Crump. If you don't mind, like, comment, and subscribe below. I have a Patreon, which I'll link, and I have a join button too. You can go ahead and join the Patreon or YouTube militia. Check me out at amaland.com. Check out my website at crumpy.com. With that said, I will see you guys next week with some interesting guests on my live channel, John Crump Live. And with that, I am out. Stay ever vigilant, stay ever free, keep in the fight, and I'm out. Peace.